That whole, like, once you hit, your 40s, it's like, oh my God. And I'm a mom, I have 3 kids, 21, 6, and 5. It keeps you kind of grounded, focused on the right things. And
a pop legend vanishes at the peak of her triumphant return, leaving millions of fans with more questions than answers. Nelly Furtado, the voice that crafted the soundtrack to the 2000s with unforgettable hits, has just stepped away from the stage, seemingly for good. But as the world reels from the shock, a much deeper, more troubling story is beginning to surface. A story of struggle, sacrifice, and the crushing weight of an industry that never lets go. What is the real reason she disappeared? On October 24, 2025, the music world was brought to a standstill by a single cryptic Instagram post. It was a day that should have been a celebration, the 25th anniversary of her revolutionary debut album, Whoa, Nelly. Instead, it became a day of mourning for her fans. Furtado announced she was taking an indefinite hiatus from performing, effective immediately. The news was a gut punch to a fan base that had been riding high on her recent electrifying comeback. After years of relative silence, she had stormed back with a new album, a fresh sound, and a series of performances that proved she hadn't lost a single drop of her magic. It felt like the beginning of a glorious new chapter, but in the blink of an eye, the book was slammed shut. The timing was inexplicable, the reasoning was vague, and it ignited a firestorm of speculation. What could have happened behind the curtain to cause such an abrupt and total retreat? The decision was made even more baffling by the fact that Nelly Furtado was, once again, a cultural phenomenon. On TikTok, a new generation that was barely alive when she first topped the charts was discovering her catalog, turning hits like Say It Right and Man-Eater into viral sensations. Dance challenges and lip-sync videos flooded the platform, breathing new life into her legacy. Furtado herself had gushed about this unexpected resurgence, calling the experience of connecting with Gen Z fans surreal and joyful. She was selling out arenas across Europe, with crowds of young and old fans alike singing every lyric back to her. She was finally receiving the critical and commercial adoration she had long been denied. So why abandon the throne just as she was reclaiming it? The official line was a desire to focus on creative and personal endeavors. But for an artist as complex and sensitive as Nelly Furtado, the real reasons run much deeper and are far more painful. The truth is, the dazzling lights of her comeback may have illuminated the dark shadows of her past trauma. Many forget that at the absolute peak of her fame, during the global phenomenon of her Loose tour, Furtado suffered a harrowing nervous breakdown right on stage. It was a moment she later confessed was her breaking point. The relentless pressure of being a pop superstar, the disorienting blur of airports and hotel rooms, and the insatiable demands of the industry had pushed her to the very edge. She was a young mother trying to raise a daughter while being one of the most famous women in the world. The facade began to crack, and that night on stage, it shattered completely. In the aftermath, she quietly retreated from the spotlight, desperate to find the normalcy that fame had stolen from her. Was this recent comeback, with all its demands and expectations, forcing her to relive the darkest chapter of her life? In her announcement, Furtado spoke of wanting to prioritize her family, and it's a sentiment that rings with profound truth. She is a devoted mother to 3 children, and her eldest daughter, Nevis, has become a creative partner in her recent journey. Nevis helped her mother navigate the strange new world of social media and even collaborated on her latest album, 7. Furtado has lit up when speaking about this unique bond, and it's undeniable that her family is the anchor in her life. But the life of a touring musician is a storm that constantly threatens that anchor. The long months away from home, the missed birthdays and school events, the exhaustion that seeps into every aspect of life, it's a lifestyle fundamentally at odds with the stable presence a parent wants to be. Was this sudden break a declaration that she was no longer willing to pay that high a price? Was she choosing to be a full-time mother over a part-time pop star? Furtado has also been uncommonly candid about her lifelong battles with her mental health, including a diagnosis of ADHD that shed light on years of struggle. The music industry, with its chaotic schedules, constant sensory overload, and intense public scrutiny, is a brutal environment for anyone. But for someone neurodivergent, someone whose brain is wired to be more sensitive to stress and overstimulation, it can be a living nightmare. The industry has a tragic legacy of consuming its most brilliant and vulnerable artists, and Furtado has always fought to avoid becoming another cautionary tale. Her decision to step away can be seen as a radical act of self-preservation, a move to protect her sanity before the relentless machine of fame could grind it away. But there may be an even more private, artistic reason for her silence. Hidden in the narrative of her career is a ghost, an entire unreleased album that haunts her discography. Before she released 2017's The Ride, Furtado poured her heart into a project titled Castle in the Sky. She has described it as a hauntingly beautiful collection of songs, but confessed they were far too raw and personal to ever share with the public. The album was born from a period of intense personal turmoil, and in the end, she chose to lock it away in a vault, keeping that piece of her soul for herself. This lost album has become an object of intense curiosity for her dedicated fans, a missing link that might explain her often ambivalent relationship with her own career. Do the secrets locked within those songs hold the key to understanding why she has once again chosen silence over the stage? This is not the first time Nelly Furtado has performed a vanishing act. After the world-conquering success of her 2006 masterpiece Loose, an album that sold over 12 million copies and made her a household name, she did the unthinkable. She walked away. She returned to her Canadian hometown, took a job in a friend's record store, and enrolled in local classes for pottery and sewing. She wasn't chasing a new career, she was chasing reality. She was deliberately grounding herself in the tangible world after years of living in the abstract, dizzying stratosphere of global fame. Her career is marked by this distinct pattern: meteoric success, followed by overwhelming pressure, leading to a deliberate retreat and an eventual return, always and only on her own terms. She is not a victim of the fame cycle. She is a master of it, and this latest move is her most definitive yet. Her most recent reemergence was sparked by an unlikely source: Drake. At his OVO Fest in Toronto, he brought Furtado out as a surprise guest, and the stadium erupted. The sheer, unadulterated joy from the crowd served as a powerful reminder of the deep connection fans still had with her music. It was the spark that ignited her creative fire again, inspiring her to write and record her album 7 with her daughter. But what began as a pure, joyful return to her craft may have quickly become a harsh reminder of why she had left. The industry was still the same beast, with the same pressures and the same insatiable appetite. Did Drake's well-intentioned gesture inadvertently lure her back into a world she had fought so hard to escape, only for her to realize she couldn't stomach it a second time? Throughout her 2.5-decade career, Nelly Furtado has been an artistic chameleon, a trailblazer who refused to be confined by genre or expectation. From the folk pop innocence of Whoa, Nelly, to the introspective melancholy of Folklore, the explosive R&B of Loose, and the passionate Latin rhythms of Me Plan, she has consistently followed her artistic muse, commercial consequences be damned. This fearless exploration often confused her record label and even alienated some fans who wanted her to repeat her past successes. But for Furtado, artistic integrity has always been non-negotiable. Her latest decision to leave the stage is the ultimate expression of that authenticity. It's a powerful statement that she would rather be true to herself in silence than be a product for public consumption. In the final lines of her farewell message, Furtado left a crucial clue about her future. She declared that while her days as a performer were over, she would identify as a songwriter forever. This wasn't just a casual remark, it was a mission statement. It signals that she is not abandoning her gift for music, but rather fundamentally changing her relationship with it. She is shedding the exhausting, public-facing skin of a pop star to embrace the more intimate, creative role of a writer. This move would allow her to continue crafting the melodies and lyrics that have defined her, but without the soul-crushing demands of touring and promotion. Is she positioning herself to be the next great behind-the-scenes hitmaker, writing songs for a new generation of pop stars? The response from her loyal fanbase was an overwhelming cascade of love and support. Social media platforms were flooded with heartfelt messages, with fans sharing deeply personal stories of how Furtado's music had been a lifeline during their darkest moments. There was an undeniable sadness, a collective grief at the idea of a world without her on stage. But overriding that sadness was a profound sense of respect and understanding. These were fans who had grown up alongside her, who had witnessed her struggles and triumphs. They saw her not as a product, but as a person, and they wanted nothing more than for her to be happy and healthy, even if it meant saying goodbye. In a final, poignant gesture, Furtado offered a message of hope to the artists who would follow in her footsteps, wishing them many years of fruitful and passionate performance. It was a graceful and bittersweet passing of the torch, an acknowledgement that her chapter in the spotlight was closing. But it also carried the weight of a warning, a subtle caution about the hidden dangers of the industry she was leaving behind. She had navigated its treacherous waters, she had survived its storms, and now she was stepping onto the shore, leaving the stage for a new generation to conquer. While Nelly Furtado has given us pieces of the puzzle, the complete picture of her departure remains tantalizingly out of reach. Is this truly a permanent retirement, or is it another strategic retreat before a future, even more triumphant return? Is she secretly working on another masterpiece like Castle in the Sky, an album she will one day feel ready to share? The questions linger, unanswered, adding another layer of mystique to one of pop music's most compelling and elusive figures, Nelly. Furtado's decision to walk away from the deafening roar of fame is a powerful and unsettling meditation on the true cost of a life lived in the public eye. For a quarter of a century, she has poured her pain, her joy, and her soul into her music. Now, she is courageously choosing to reclaim her life for herself. Although the stage lights have gone dark, her music will continue to shine, a timeless beacon for generations to come. The woman who created that music is stepping into a well-deserved peace, and as the world speculates on what comes next, one thing is clear: Nelly Furtado's story is far from over. She has simply taken the pen into her own hands, ready to write the next chapter in silence, on her own terms.